Here we are, mate.
Over on lot 26.
This used to be owned by Samuel Ball, and it was farmland back in the day.
Metal detection expert Gary Drayton, along with treasure hunter Michael John, are investigating an area near the foundation that once belonged to Samuel Ball. They are hoping to find more clues as to why the 19th century Oak Island landowner mysteriously came to be one of the wealthiest men in the province of Nova Scotia.
What I've done since we have cleared out the surface artifacts, I brought the big mamma jammer.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bigger coil.
Yes. It's the maximum depth for this one.
Like a cannonball-sized target, about 6-7 feet.
Okay, wow.
This area is now cleared of trees and shrubs and bulrushes. Gives me an opportunity to run the GPX 5000 with a 32-inch coil. We're looking for deep targets. Okay, mate, this is a good little clearing to start.
Yeah.
I want to go in these wide open spaces. Hopefully we find something. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll.
Alrighty.
Other than the interest in Samuel Ball, the human being, there is a little bit of a glimmer that he was a little bit more than meets the eye. I don't think there's any way anybody that smart, that aware of things, wouldn't have known exactly what was going on Oak Island the whole time he was there. The more I can find out about this person, the better.
That was a small piece of iron.
Small piece?
Yep. Come on, where are you? Oh. Look at that. Very strong signal. Looks like it's just here, mate.
Okay. Check.
Okay, yep. See ya, should be able to hit it. That should be something good. It's deep, so it should be old. Cool. What we got here? That's it.
That's
Look.
probably it, yes.
Yeah. That is, a little baby ox shoe. We found the shack daddy, the mother of all ox shoes, near the swamp, and now we've found a little baby one. That is a small little ox shoe. Now we've pulled up several different ox shoes in really good condition. And if there's some kind of industrial operation, you're gonna need beasts of burden to transport whatever you was doing there. And when we show these to Carmen, hopefully Carmen will give us a country of origin. It is an oldie, this is an old artifact. I've just never seen them this small. What a nice little artifact.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to taking this to Carmen Legs.
There we go, yeah.
To give us a story behind this. Hey, great find, Michael.
That's right.
Great find. We got to tell the archaeologists about this area.
That's right, yeah.
So we'll give it a go, mate.
Okay.
Rick Lagina and metal detection expert Gary Drayton arrive at the uplands on lot 15. It was in this area
What is this?
where just 1 week ago, Gary and Peter Fernetti discovered an unusual iron band on nearby lot 17, which once belonged to the wheel of an old cart or wagon. This find not only dated to before the discovery of the money pit in 1795, but also offered evidence of a potential pathway between the swamp and the original treasure shaft. To find this hidden road, it is Rick and Gary's hope that uncovering a trail of pre-searcher artifacts between lot 15 and the money pit could prove this theory to be true.
We put flags on any target that sounds good to me. And now we've got permission to dig them up. So all we got to do is see what they are, put them in a bag, mark them, exact same as the flag, and Bob's your uncle.
Okay.
Find something good.
Metal detecting is different this year. We have to create transects or grids across the island. We also have to get a permit from Communities, Culture, and Heritage for that process to continue.
It's in that area there, mate.
In 2010, Rick, Marty, Craig, and their partners obtained permission from the government of Nova Scotia to search for treasure on Oak Island. It is the only location within the province where such activities are legal. At the time, other than the late 18th century homesteads that once belonged to Samuel Ball on Lot 25 and Daniel McGinnis on Lot 21, they were subject to few restrictions regarding metal detecting activities across their property. That all changed in the wake of the historic discoveries the team made last year in the swamp, such as the massive stone road and the cobblestone pathway, which may be leading in this direction on Lot 15, and potentially even toward the original money pit.
I think the arising awareness in the public of how important this might be has caused regulators to sit up and pay attention, in large part due to the success of us making this real.
Now, other than a designated green zone, which covers the money pit area from Lot 18 to Smith's Cove on Lot 20, Gary must first mark metal targets that he detects with flags, and then obtain permission from archaeologist Laird Niven to go back and retrieve whatever they may be.
There, mate. Oh, our old friend the pull tab.
Oh, imagine that.
Bag it and tag it, even though it's trash.
Yeah, I think issues like this need to be addressed with CCH. This just seems like a waste of time and assets.
Yeah, we have to really dig through the trash to get to the treasures.
My hope is that the positive will outweigh the negative, but to be honest, it will slow down the work.
Yeah, it's like a scrapyard around there. Right, next flag is just here. Just here. That sounds even better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. Ox shoe. That looks like an oldie. Crazy, isn't it? So all that modern junk, and then we get an older ox shoe in this area. Yeah, well, we're not too far off a money pit as well.
And we found all those ox shoes down below the so-called pine tar kiln.
Yeah.
An ox shoe? Since the team has found a number of ox shoes over the last year on the island, might it be more evidence of not just a path between the swamp and the money pit, but also an operation to haul heavy cargo between the two locations as well?
That's cool. That's what we want to be finding, some old stuff. And I knew there had to be some more old stuff in here. It's just clearing all this out. And unfortunately, somewhere like this, we're going to have to take all the surface junk out to get to the good stuff. Where you find ox shoes, you're in an area which could potentially be a trail or an area where treasure was old, perhaps. So this is exciting.
What is that, French, British?
To me, it looks British because it's got that wider bottom and that thinner top.
If Gary's assessment about this ox shoe's origin is correct, could that mean it may be connected to the British pine tar kiln that the team found on Lot 15 last year? The same one that archaeologist David McGinnis believes to date back as far as the 16th century, and which Laird Niven suspects may have been used in the construction of the original money pit.
You know, you should go back to the old aerials. Plot these finds against the old aerials where it's cleared.
Yeah.
And see if they correspond.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. We know someone was here using an ox a long time ago. That's better, mate. These are the type of finds we want to be recovering. I knew we could sniff out an old find. On to the next flag.
Approximately 50 miles north of Oak Island.
Hey, Carmen.
Oh, look at here.
Alex Lagina and Jack Begley arrive at blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg's shop in Centerville, Nova Scotia. They are eager to have him examine the recent finds made by Jack and metal detection expert Gary Drayton on lot 15.
All right, let's start with this one.
So, all right, let's have a look.
You're gonna know exactly what this is immediately because we've come and shown you these before, and we have a couple different ox shoes.
Oh, it's an ox shoe, yes, yes. It's a winter shoe. It's for the outside claw of the left front foot.
A winter shoe?
It's a winter shoe, yes.
What do you mean by winter shoe?
They're fairly sharp here for the ice, hard packed snow. If it was for a summer shoe, it would be much thicker and wider and more robust for the rocks and the ground. And for a small animal, probably 1,300 pounds, something like that. Very typical of the earlier time period. Small British-made shoe.
Is there a difference between the shoes that would be used by a British farmer or, you know, something like that versus what would be used by the British military? Or would you?
No, it could be British military, yes, okay. Yes.
So that's not the same as the old shoes that we brought you in years past?
No, some of them were German, and there was also a few French shoes in there.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a British style of shoe. That would be anywhere around 1650 to 1750.
Early 1700s.
At Northville Farms in Centerville, Nova Scotia, blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg has just concluded that the ox shoes found on lot 15 could date back to as much as 150 years before the discovery of the money pit.
Yeah, this shoe was very typical for the 1700s. The later shoes, the straighter, wider on the heel, would have used machine-made nails, not handmade nails.
Cool.
Could that mean that the animal these belonged to was in some way connected to the mysterious stone structure found on lot 15? A structure that might also have been involved in the construction of the money pit prior to 1795.
It's an unusual style. It's a British style. Was it made here by the British? I don't know.
We do have a few more from the same region, right, Jack?
Yeah, we got a couple different ox shoes.
That seems much bigger.
It's a winter shoe, so that's the same time period as the other one, but it's a little bigger shoe. More than likely made by the same maker, just for a bigger animal.
Two different animals, at least.
Yeah.
Yes. This one here is the same as the other one. Not for the front foot, this is for the hind foot. Mm-hmm. This one, however, I can tell is not a winter shoe, it's a summer shoe.
One other interesting thing about the ox shoes is that we found both kinds on Oak Island in the vicinity of this Lot 15 structure, which indicates that not only was there a large-scale industrial or military activity happening, it was happening in two different seasons for at least a decent length of time.
All these ox shoes were found in a line that it seemed like someone was hauling something between the swamp and the money pit.
And these were all found along the same trail?
Along the same trail.
So in order to find these many shoes along that route means that there was a major activity, transportation of something going back and forth there. It's very unusual. Sounds like industry going on there. It wasn't a couple of days, it was several months over a winter and summer period.
A massive excavation.
Possibly, yeah.
Well, do you think this piece is related as well?
It's very corroded. I wish I knew what was underneath that. It does seem to be a bit of a seam going down through the middle there. And again, you can see the seam down through there, so that means it was molded and it was along the trail. It fell off the ox equipment or off of the conveyance. The only thing it could possibly be is sort of like a finial on top of an ox cart. Just a decorative top, not civilian. If it was an ox cart, it would be military because that's the only ones that would use any scroll work or knob work on their ox cart or wagon finials.
When you identified all the other objects, it really makes me think there was an old British military operation of sorts between the swamp and the money pit, or that's what it appears to be. We haven't finished detecting the area, so we'll have to go back and see what else we can find.
We'll go back out there and look for some more stuff. Thank you very much.
All right, very good, very good.
Thanks for all the help.
Thank you.
Man.
We'll see you soon, Carmen. Take care.
Okay, see you later.
This whole place is covered with firecracker rock.
While archaeologists David McGinnis, Aaron Taylor, and Liz Michaels continue to excavate the mysterious structure on Lot 15,
Let's go, mate. You keep me straight.
metal detection expert Gary Drayton, along with Jack Begley, search nearby in hopes of finding more evidence related to the recent discovery of an ancient Chinese coin.
As we get further away from the guys, we're actually getting closer towards the swamp, an area which would have been traversed back in the day by anyone working in between the money pit and the swamp. We gotta dig this. This is no blasting cap. There's a big piece of iron here. Just there, mate. Yeah, it's about 8 inches. Yeah, I see iron residue.
You're on it.
Another
There's
auction.
another one.
Yeah, that's a smaller one, but look how wide it is. I kind of figured that was going to be an ox shoe. Yeah, why would you have ox
You
around
kind of
it?
line them up, though. You're coming from the harbor in the swamp, and it's headed back towards where they're excavating right now. The Lot 15 feature.
You've got the peninsula down there, you've got the paved area, and now you've got ox shoes in an area where we know there hasn't been a lot of farming. So if we start finding these in one area, and if they line up, it could be an old track.
Yeah, and it lines right back towards the tar kiln.
A pathway or a track leading from the swamp to the stone structure on Lot 15? Is it possible that Gary and Jack are finding evidence of an operation to move cargo away from the swamp? If so, could that explain the massive stone-paved feature the team unearthed in the swamp 1 year ago? And also, perhaps the mysterious anomaly detected by seismic scanning buried some 50 feet deep in the middle of a brackish, man-made bog.
Okay, mate, let's get back on track. Which is kind of ironic, because I believe this could be a track.
I think so too, Gary.
Jack, I got more iron here, mate. Look, so it disappeared completely. There's definitely iron here.
Right there.
Yep. I can see rust.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, that is. Hopefully it's something cool. Wow. The heck is that? The heck is
Pin
that?
for hauling something? Yeah, like...
I don't think it's a pin. I've seen similar things on horse and ox harnesses where they have these knobs on the end.
Oh, I think you might be right, Gary.
Yeah, that's what this reminds me of.
Where they'd, like, put the reins around, I think?
Yeah, but this is heavy. That's what I like about it. It's nice
So you
and
think
heavy.
it's really old, then?
Pre-1800s.
This is amazing. Ox shoes were never really anything to get too excited about until you find them in the proper context. So we're definitely onto some sort of an oxen trail.
Yeah.
That leads between the paved area inside the swamp over to the money pit.
I mean, we're looking for tools and signs of activity between the swamp and where the guys are working up there, this is what we want to be finding, because some kind of hauling took place along here. We're on a
hauling
track.
before they had any sorts of roads or trails.
Yep.
Obviously, they were pushed to have to quickly make some sort of a trail and force their oxen through it.
Sweet.
We're on the right track, Gary.
Everything is lining up now.